Guys, in this video, we're going to be chatting about rest. And here's why you want to be part of this conversation. Rest is not something that's celebrated by our society very often, but it is key to you living the life that you want to be living. If you're a human, you need rest. If you're a human, chances are you want to feel a certain way. Happy, fulfilled, content. Various things like that are really common, things we want to feel. And if you're a human, you also likely have things you want to do in your life. You might have goals or just things you really want to accomplish or enjoy and experience, right? Rest will help you feel how you want to feel. It'll help you reach those goals, those experiences that you want to have. And on top of it all, it'll help you be a healthier person. So it's a conversation that is important. It's not one we get to have all that often in society. So if you take a step back and think about our society, we've progressively lost our ability to rest. And this isn't just me saying that. Science is showing us that. Think back, I'm a child of the 80s. Think back to the 80s, you couldn't shop on Sundays. And there are initially what were just like religious reasons for that. And it's okay if that doesn't land well for you. But think about it from the standpoint of now that you can do anything on a Sunday all the time, you might be having to go to your job. You can go shopping, this. You have all these options. And whereas it used to be an invitation to just kind of hit pause and not have all of the choices, all of the things to do, now you've kind of gotten bombarded with, oh, you can do anything anytime, right? Think about your phone. Think about your screens. Think about everything that's accessible 24/7. Society is not something that encourages rest. So I believe it's an important conversation to have, because I believe that choosing rest is something that can really improve the quality of your life. And you might be saying, well, okay, so you're a coach for people pleasers and perfectionists, Heather. Why are you talking about rest? Here's what I believe, and I've seen in my own life, and I see it in my clients' lives. When we're able to feel more rested, we're able to choose to change our behavior patterns more effectively. So let's say you're a people pleaser and you're just leaving work. You really struggle to say no to things. You're leaving work, you're tired, you just want to go home and chill out. And a colleague grabs you and says, hey, Julie, you do such a great job on all of the projects I throw your way. I've got this really big important one that I'd love to send your way. Here you go. Chances are if you're tired and you're a people pleaser, you're going to say, okay, yeah, great. I'll have a look at it tomorrow, Bob. And yeah, I can do that. When maybe you're already overloaded, maxed out, and what you really want to say is no. Maybe if you were a bit more rested, you'd be able to just pause before you respond, check in with yourself, and say something like, you know what? I'll have a look at it in the morning. I'm not sure if I can take it on right now, but I can have a look. Or something maybe a little stronger, like, no, I can't take that on right now. I'm overloaded at the moment, right? That becomes easier when you're rested. That ability to practice new behavior patterns is easier when you're rested. So that's why we're talking about it. So 3 things that I want to share around rest. Number 1, you are worthy of rest. I fully believe that. You do not have to earn your rest. You don't have to wait until you finish this thing. You don't have to wait until someone tells you to take a break or until your health tells you to take a break. You are a human. You are worthy of rest, and you were created to rest as part of what you do in your existence. Thing 2, it's really important to check in with what you believe around rest. So if you believe that rest is important, the chances are you're going to be more committed to doing things that improve your ability to rest in your life. You might not exactly have those dialed. That's another conversation in another video. But you're going to be more likely to make those changes. If you believe that rest is maybe for the lazy, rest isn't important, I'll rest later, there's a solid chance that you're going to just keep working, keep grinding, and progressively get more and more tired and wind up on the burnout train. So just something to think about and check in with yourself. What do I believe about rest? Notice it might be something that you learned early on from a family member or someone really important in your life and what they believed about rest. Maybe they didn't say anything specific, but maybe it's how they lived out their everyday life. I know for me, it was watching parents who worked hard all the time. So they didn't really seem to know how to rest. And that's something that I've had to hit my own wall with in life as an adult, and then decide that I was worthy of rest. And maybe they didn't really believe rest was important, but I do believe it's important and I need it in order to function and in order to thrive. And you might be saying to me right now, like, really, Heather, but I have 3 kids under the age of 5. Rest is like impossible. I want to acknowledge different times in life, rest is harder or easier to enjoy, right? It is hard if you're a parent. It is hard if you're in your 3rd year of med school and just getting slammed every day. But can you believe that you're worthy of it? How might you actually function as a better parent or a better student if you're getting that rest? So just things to sit with. I'd love to hear what you think in the comments around that idea. And then lastly, for this video, I just want to chat about the idea of rest being important. So I've touched on how it affects our behavior patterns, our ability to be a little more present with ourselves. Here's what the science is saying, and it's so interesting. I'm reading a book right now, and it talks about our collective loss of our ability to focus as individuals, as a society composed of individuals. And the science says this is actually a true thing. We are losing our ability to focus. And a lot of that is tied into the fact that we are struggling to rest. In terms, yes, of getting enough sleep. Most people are getting an hour less sleep than they used to. I forget the number, but not that many decades ago. And that's not healthy. But just, yeah, as a society as a whole, we're tired. We're tired. Think about it. Our brain, our prefrontal cortex, is meant to filter the inputs that we receive, right? So in any one situation, we might have 4 different sensory things coming at us. We might be in the midst of a really important conversation at work. And that's the focus and what we need to hear. There might also be a fan running in the background, coworkers chatting in the next cubicle, and our brains helping us focus on that one conversation. Now, add in things we didn't have 30 years ago. No cell phones. So now we have cell phones and they're often making noises. So our brain's working to filter the conversation that someone in the office is also having on their phone, but also the binging of someone else's phone that's happening, right? Do you get the idea? There's more inputs all the time. So no wonder we're tired. If we cannot find ways to rest, no wonder we're burning out faster. No wonder our brains are exhausted. No wonder we're feeling more tense. Those of us who struggle with anxiety are having that heightened. There is so much going on in our world. And one of the antidotes for it is rest. It's an invitation to do that. So I'm going to say more on this. I'm going to record another video around the topic of how do I rest? What does that look like? How do I even start? But for now, I want to leave it at that. I would love to hear from you in the comments if you have something you want to chat about. And I would love for you to subscribe to my channel if you're finding my content useful. There's a new video every week to 2 weeks. All right, that's it for now. Until then, be well.